All right, that takes us to Elite News Weekly. Roy, Taylor, actually, starting off the bat, the Dark Wheel update. Wolf, take it away.
Wolf.
Yay! My drunk ass gets to talk again. We have got a tremendous amount of stuff to cover this week, so I will be exceedingly brief with it as I possibly can. We've got lots of expansions that are happening, and another one that's gonna happen. Chironium. The Dark Wheel arrived there from the last expansion of the Nine Puppets. The controlling player faction, Leviathan Scout Regiment, would love to have us as a neighbor. So we're gonna be good neighbors. We're gonna be a number two, and we're not gonna challenge for the system. Roll on. We're going to expand out of HR 4979. I don't know where we're going, but when it happens, sometime between August 28th and 30th, I'll deal with the diplomacy, and we'll figure what we're doing next. B183106. We're climbing there. We are number 2 in the system, and usually within about a week, we could probably own the system. That would be very awesome because that adds another system that will fly the Dark Wheel's flag. We also have a thing going on in Turdetani. Yes, that old system near Lave.
Fuck that system.
Yeah, no, that's the turd. That's the poop system.
Mm-hmm.
That system sucks. It's tiny and it's only got tiny stations. And my God, was it a pain in the ass to work that system getting to Lave? Excellent news! The Federal Reclamation Company has decided that they want to own it. So I've been talking with them, and they've been talking with me, and we've come to a mutually agreeable solution to they're going to own the system, they're going to keep us at number 2, they're going to run the BGS, and we don't have to smell that system no more. Awesome
Good news.
times.
Roy, take it away.
Yeah, so in Elite in this week, we first up got a video from Voss3303, Choose Onion Head. So this is, let me get this straight. First, Lave Radio did an homage to Train Spotting's intro, Choose Life, Choose Onion Head. Then now Voss has made a video of Psycho Kyle's old Lave Radio bit, and that's what's been published. It's really good. It's well done. It's funny. Definitely worth a watch.
Hell yeah.
Next up, AXI announced a new faster method for finding non-human signal sources using your FSS scanner. So when you're using when you're looking at the NHSSs on the scanner, they fall into 3 distinct groupings. So let me see if I get this right. The ones with the squiggle on the left are scout only. The ones with the squiggle on the right are interceptor only. And if it's in the middle, it's scout plus interceptor variants.
Yep.
So there you go. Good little tip. We've got a couple of really interesting Elite Dangerous Odyssey exobiology exploration guides. The first up is from Commander Exorcist, Finding Active Geology in EDO. I really like this one in that this harkens back to before biology and geology were points of interest and they were just spread all over the planet. That's what's happened now, obviously, with Odyssey. And so this is where you start to get tips and tricks on there's relationships between different geography aspects and where you're going to find these things. So great video from Commander Exorcist. Expect to see more like that. Canon Research also put out an organic scanning guide. Go check that out. They've got one thing I was when I was checking that out, they've got another link in there to the fees you can earn from different organics. The link wasn't working. I'm sure they'll get that fixed, but that's something I was really interested in checking out to help you sort of prioritize what you want to go after. We've got a new beta of ED HUD mod. Those of you that remember using that in Horizons to customize your HUD colors, there's a beta of that now. Works in Odyssey. I think only on the front panel so far, so they're still improving it, so check that out. Elite Discovery has put out another update specifically for Odyssey. This has things like new panels for suits and loadouts and different resources. They did a major overhaul on the web interface. There's a new companion API for PC commanders. And then some stuff, more specifically around Odyssey, like engineering for weapons and suits, rework to add the special effects, tech brokers, and shopping lists, and some stuff like that. So, if you're a frequent user of ED Discovery, make sure you download that update. Scott Gust put out I'd say a charming video on what more do you want from ED Odyssey. I think it's worth a watch. I enjoyed it in the sense that he's really, if you take a step back from all the vitriol that came as Odyssey first launched, there's a lot of stuff that's gotten improved since patch 6, update 6, whatever you want to call it. I've been playing my exploration the last 2 weeks. It's fun. It's fun, and if you can kind of get past all the, I don't know, hurt feelings that have happened over the last 3 months, maybe you can see. And I think he puts it in a good way. So check that out if you want a little different perspective on things. We got a charity event coming up, Elite Aid 24-hour charity stream on September 4th. This is the West Europe Flood Relief Fund. So there were severe rains caused intense flooding in Germany and Belgium, destroying homes and towns. Dozens of people have died. Thousands of people are unaccounted for in Germany. This fund is going to provide immediate relief to survivors and support long-term recovery. We'll have the links to that and the fundraising page in the patch notes, so make sure you check that out on September 4th. All right, going to zoom through some news here. Patches none. Let's see, streams. The CM said on Thursday they're going to be looking at sometime in the future to do exclusive Twitch drops that aren't available from the Arc store to try and increase live views on the Twitch stream. So we'll be looking forward to that. So we're going to talk some about this forum poster on the ED issue report. We're going to get to that after I zoom through some of this news here. Mm-hmm. There's a focus feedback thread, if you remember the ones in the past for UI improvements and various things. The next one up is cockpit brightness. So if you've got some strong opinions about how the inside of your ship looks in different lighting conditions, please make a note of checking that out. We'll have the link in the show notes. All right, here comes 2 weeks of Galnet news to catch us up. August 10th, Zemina Torval created a new corporation. The suspicion that the headquarters was going to be in a permit-controlled system, we're going to find out that came true. August 11th, Aegis was probed by the Board of Inquiry, worried about Aegis weakening. Maybe this is a herald for some new things coming with the Thargoids. Who knows? That's also going to be touched up on in another story here we're going to talk about. There was 2 on the 12th. The Marlinist Civil War declared. That was kicking off a CG victory against Federation for independent factions. That was where one of the factions that was fighting against the Federation for all the police state stuff won. So the rebellion spread to 28 more systems. Rebel scum. Onion Head legality sparks debate. Not too sure where that story's going. It's interesting as a side story. It keeps getting picked up again. Rival corporations compete in LTT 198. So now we're getting into sort of the second half of this Zemina Torval story. Torval Mestopolis Mining, that's Senator Zemina Torval's offshoot of Mestopolis Mining. It's believed to be run by her daughter, Constantia Torval. So maybe she's in peril. We'll see, because that's the site of the CG now. Mm-hmm. Leaked report exposes Aegis failures. This is a leak of a report that's still being written. Aegis is being blamed for, among other things, prioritizing communication with the Thargoids over new AX weaponry development. I'm not sure if we've seen that particular thread of that story before. Interesting. That sort of, in my mind, harkens back to the Far God cult. Another thread suggesting there's people that are friendly with the Thargoids, and maybe there's something more to that. Aegis personnel claim that the superpowers caused the problems of, Aegis being weak by reducing funding to Aegis. So could be invasion coming, could be different faction of Thargoids, who knows. 2 stories on the 19th, anti-NMLA forces win Marlinist civil war. So I think this was the less militant ones beat the more militant ones, something
Correct.
like that.
The regular population that are Republicans beat out the terrorists, the ultra whatever radicalized.
Yeah. So then the other story on the 19th, LTT 198 hosts competing mining campaigns. So this is the Zemina Torval versus the other faction. There's actually some, I guess you call them weapon modules. They're mining modules that you can win depending on the side you support. There's a long-range mining laser on one side and a long-range abrasion blaster on the other.
Can I?
Unfortunately, go ahead.
Can I just point out, and maybe correct me if you think I'm wrong, anyone, but Roy specifically, can you think of anything less useful than one single mining laser with extended range other than an abrasion blaster with extended range? Like, when have you ever been cracking asteroids and said, you know what? I really wish I could be farther away right now because
Well,
the spinning
yeah.
what I really need to do is add to the time to lead the target here.
It's maybe marginally worse than that, but I think it is an interesting angle. So the mining laser, the worst part is it's only class 1. Everybody uses class 2 if you can fit it, right? The abrasion blaster only exists as a class 1, and the only thing I could think of, and I'm really stretching on this, but the abrasion blaster has kind of a slow flight time. So if the longer range means it goes faster, that could be useful. But I'm really stretching there.
Yeah, that's a stretch.
But the thing that I think that's interesting, though, if you go back months when they first brought back CGs, and we were talking about some of the creative things they were doing, where they were tweaking game mechanics for different rewards, and I think this is one where normally you can't engineer mining weapons. So I think it's interesting that even though these aren't like showstoppers, they're putting quote unquote mining or engineering modifications on mining modules, which is something you can't do. So
No, agreed. And if they had helped with the heat dissipation, or possibly maybe did a thing where it lowers the power draw or something, I would have been all for it. But literally, when you're mining rocks, rule 1 is get your nose to the rock. So this makes no sense to me. But okay.
Yeah, it's maybe a near miss in terms of hitting a home run with this particular reward. Finally, the 20th conspiracy theorist finds network home. This one I thought was kind of funny. So Kit Fowler, he's one of the 9 new engineers added in Odyssey, and so this story is basically an in-game lore riff on the in-game description of Kit. The description of Kit, if you're unfamiliar, says Kit has a reputation for indulging fringe ideologies and conspiracy. An aptitude for engineering makes it easy for him to find work. This income funds an independent broadcast called End Times that serves as a platform for his paranoid rants and apocalyptic predictions. And so they give a snippet of his most recent episode. So the whole point is he's been now being hosted by a network in the game. I don't think you can actually do anything with his network in the game. It's still sort of a lore thing, but they're saying, one of his recent quotes was, years ago, a sinister group called Black Flight committed multiple crimes, including murder, to suppress evidence of Thargoid activity after the First War. The mainstream news feeds buried the story, of course, but the fearless truth seekers among us have repeatedly named the Colonia, Nesh, and Wasat systems as locations where the Black Flight operated. So I'm not an expert on that piece of lore, but this sounds like a little more than just a conspiracy. Like Black Flight, that's
Black Flight
thing, wasn't it?
Black Flight was a very, very meaty thing in the lore. There were a group of Federation ships that operated sort of as a black ops off the books group that were trying to hide the existence of the Thargoids before it sort of became common knowledge that the Thargoids were back. I do want to point out that I have listened to End Times Radio, and they had a whole interesting story about the federal government is trying to turn frogs gay. No, but Wolf, you had a something to add to that.
Yeah, I poor choice of words to call something in Elite right now End Times. Like, I totally get the idea that they're trying to hint towards something coming with the Thargoid stuff. I mean, we just had the CG with the Far God cult and all that. But hey guys, you're still being a little tone deaf. Might want to think ahead a little bit.
So
perhaps
I'm going to hop in real quick here and take over the community goals just because I'm summing it up in 10 words or less. The Marlinist crazy people lost. The Marlinist reasonable people won. Yay! None of which had really good turnouts of any kind whatsoever. The current CGs that are going, as we said, you've got the situation of the 2 different mining groups. Do whatever the hell you want. They're both evil imperial mining groups, and they both give out shit rewards. And according to this, it looks like 0% is being achieved on one side, whereas 4% is being achieved on the other. And we're at the weekend, so that's kind of embarrassing.